Do you have enough light in your life? Are you soaring in the joy around you? Are you stuck and unable to make life happen? Stay tuned for the Rabbi Jenny Show, where you will learn how to bask in the light and find more joy and meaning in life. Call to talk to Rabbi Jenny at 888-565-1470 and email questions and comments at rabbijenny.com. And now, if you're ready, stay tuned for the Rabbi who will light your world on fire, Rabbi Jenny.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. It's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome to the Rabbi Jenny Show. We are streaming live on Facebook, and you can find us on iHeartRadio. Download the app, 95.3 FM or 1470 AM at WWNN in Boca Raton, Florida. And we have a very exciting topic today. It is the Call of the Wild show on the Rabbi Jenny Show. But first, let's remind you of the two main ideas. If you're watching for the first time, these are the two main ideas you're going to incorporate into your life, make them a part of your paradigm. If you watch every week, I'm so glad you're back. But remember these two main ideas. I want you to hear me in your head saying them over and over again. The first main idea is this: the world is happening for you and not to you. That's 100% of the time. The world is happening for you and not to you. Why it is happening for you and not to you? Because you are divine love, light, energy. You are a part of creation, and therefore you, like every other energy, is always expanding and always growing. So whatever has come into your life this week, even if it feels really funky, it's coming in to expand you and grow you and change you into something different, a different, better version of yourself, whether through learning something new, being exposed to something new. Whatever it's doing to you, it might even be stirring it up real good, which is sort of kind of what the topic is about a little bit. It's like close, okay? So the topic is the Call of the Wild. Oh, and if you're watching, I want you to howl. Oh, because it shows all about our animal nature and getting in touch and accepting and loving our animal nature. Very, very confusing part of Torah this week. Okay, especially when I was a kid, I really looked at this part of Torah and was like, what is this about? Were we like weirdos when it was were the Jews weirdos in the desert, burning animals on fire? I don't understand, right? But this is like a really exciting week. It's called Vayikra, and we call it the Call of the Wild because the Torah portion begins like this. And God called to Moses. He went, ow! He called to him, and then he said, you will offer an offering of an unblemished cattle to the fire for atonement, okay? And then we go on in this portion to talk about these offerings or these sacrifices of animals and how they have to be unblemished. And what is this about? What is this about? I have to tell you, from a very distant, very limited angle, this may seem weird. But the truth and the genius in it is that accepting and sacrificing an unblemished animal to God in lieu of our own animal nature, recognizing our own animal nature. Isn't that what Moses and they figured out? Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not cheat. Thou shalt not steal. Right? That's our wild side, people. This is who we are. We love to think, human beings love to think that we are above natural law, that we are not animals, but we really, truly are. What's interesting, I was looking up these words, right? I was looking up the word animal. The word animal comes from Latin, animalis, which means having breath, having soul, or living. Doesn't say anything else, but in the dictionary, it says, I think it says a living creature in the Webster's dictionary that isn't human. So I'm wondering if the Latin came before the Webster's dictionary. I think it did. Okay. So I think we are animales. I think we are animals. And then when you look up the word wild is our uncivilized, disorderly, unruly, uncontrollable nature. And I can tell you myself, most of my pain comes from an inability to accept this part of myself. Because let me tell you something. Anytime you are afraid, you are hungry, you are hunting, somebody's going to hurt somebody you love, let me tell you, that will come out. When there's something you want or you need, it will come out. And what better way to grow spiritually than to accept it? And when you go to the fire, with this idea of going to the fire with that unblemished animal to God and saying, we are recognizing who I am. I'm recognizing who I am. And offering that up to you to remember that I can rise above it, that the fire can purify this and change it and transform it into something higher. You know, I have a very hard time accepting sometimes. Like sometimes somebody will do something, we're really catty, like catty, like wah, catty. And I'll get like jealous of a girl or possessive or something like that. And I'm so hard on myself. When I feel the feeling, it's not bad enough I'm jealous, but then I beat the, what out of myself because I felt the feeling in the first place. But, if this was the old days where I had to get myself what I needed in the jungle, I'd done tear out the throat of that other girl. You know what I'm saying? So we have to love our animal nature. We have to embrace it. And there's so much Torah about this sacrifice. And it was very enlightening for me to look at it from a different angle, inspired by many teachers. My teacher, Jay Says, by Caroline Mays, many, many teachers teaching me a new way to look at the idea of going to the fire, going to sacrifice, not from this limited view. And how can you do that? How can you accept and love your animal side? How many times a day? How about this, listeners, male and female? How many times a day do you try to control yourself? And does that cause you pain? Does that cause you limited? Do you get a headache? And how do you try to control yourself? Do you go on lockdown? Do you get mad? What would happen if you accepted it and took it to the fire? What would happen if you took it to the fire in the form of your journal, which we talk about every week, which you better have bought now? And if this is your first show, you got to go out and buy one. Because taking it to the fire is letting it out. Putting it out there on the paper and saying, I felt this. I'm going to accept that I felt this. I'm going to hand it over to the fire. Now, the fire doesn't have to be a literal fire, or you can do ceremony. We do ceremony all the time where I work, and you do offer it up to the fire. You simply can offer it up to another human soul, which is the fire, for transformation. Send it out to the air. Trust it. Trust it. Speak to someone about this stuff. Do not be afraid, because our passions, our wildness is what makes us fantastic. I don't think you can be a passionate human being and decide, well, I'm going to choose that passion and that passion, but this one embarrasses me, so I don't want that one. We're so afraid of being humiliated. We're so afraid of being different. We're just human. We have fears, we have hunger, we have needs. If you're listening now, this show is for you. There's something in you. There's a fire in you. There's this fire. There's this wild side that you're so afraid to let out. Maybe it hurt you before when you let it out. Now, that reminds me, there was a movie that came out. It was based on a book by Cheryl Strayed. And Cheryl Strayed renamed herself because she was a cheating drug addict. And she renamed herself that to embrace. I think she was probably shaming herself when she originally named herself. But I want to read you this quote, because calling the call of the wild, or embracing your wild side, is forgiveness. Forgiveness is accepting things as they are, yourself. The rainbow has all 7 colors, my friend. You can't be peaceful purple every day. You got to have a little of that fuchsia at the end and a little of the red on the other side. You know what I'm saying? You have to be fiery. So let me read this quote by her. It's so great. I think I took a picture of it because okay. This comes from Cheryl Strayed from Wild, okay? What if I forgave myself, I thought? What if I forgave myself even though I'd done something I shouldn't have? Ooh, I was just an animal. What if I was a liar and a cheat and there was no excuse for what I'd done other than because it was what I wanted and needed to do? What if I was sorry? But if I could go back in time, I wouldn't do anything differently than I had done. I love the honesty. What if I'd actually wanted to have sex with every one of those men? What if drugs taught me something? What if yes was the right answer instead of no? What if what made me do all those things everyone thought I shouldn't have done was what had got me here? What if I was never redeemed? What if I already was? How awesome is that? You got to read that book. You also should watch the movie. Reese Witherspoon does an amazing job with that. And that goes to a lot of things. I'm actually watching a Reese Witherspoon show, Big Little Lies. It's on HBO. It's this limited series, and it's all about that. These women, it's Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, the girl from the Divergent series, Laura Dern. It's this awesome cast. And these women are messed up, okay? They are jealous. They are cheaters. They are liars. And they are funny and passionate and giving and loving. And you watch them, and you're like, boy, she's not so cool, but boy, is she cool. And I think when I watch something like that, why can't I look at myself that way when I do something that I can't forgive or let go? Why am I still holding on to something from 11 years ago that I did when I was 11 years dumber? And I don't mean dumber like intelligence. I mean I had less life experience. You know, human beings learn by doing. We don't learn by talking. And perhaps that's why we offer the animal. We take the action. We offer it up. Do something this week. Offer something up from your past. Embrace it. You know, we all have needs. There was an article I read about embracing your animal, the benefits of reconnecting to your wild side, okay? And this article said you can reconnect to your body. Accept your body. Your body needs what it needs. It needs food. Eat, ladies, okay? Just eat. Needs to move, exercise, dance, sing, breathe. Oh my God, breathe. I heard this most wonderful thing that you are in a contract with the air when you're born. It breathes you and you breathe it. Oh my God, breathe. Okay? Fool around. Get a little feisty. It's going to hurt. Your body has needs. It needs. You also reconnect with nature. You know, if you're having trouble embracing or forgiving yourself, go outside. You know, go to the zoo. Take a look at a couple tigers. Go look at a bird. The bird's not sitting around going, why did I do that? Why did I poop on that car? Bird don't care, right? Why do we care so much? Because we think we're special. We think we're different. We think we're above mistake. We put ourselves in this prison of pain and don't allow ourselves to grow. You know, unfortunately, like Cheryl was saying, sometimes we do have to do crazy stuff. Not only to appreciate our own capabilities, but also to have compassion to the people who are going to come in front of us with those same things. And we can look at them and say, so what? Me too. Move on. Love you. Oh, I like that. So what? Me too. Move on. Love you. That's going to be a new one. Next thing is reconnect with your body. Fitness. Wait, no, that's not what this says. It says reconnect with sex. Well, that's kind of fun. You could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we can. You know, it's a natural part of life. It doesn't come up on every show, but it's an important. This is such an important show. I feel so excited. Oh, I feel like dancing around like a wolf. Because you have to do this. The craziest, most creative people were really, really wild. You know, sometimes they move to one end or the spectrum or the other, you know, but don't forget it. It's your magic. You know, don't expect yourself to be perfect or not an animal or not. You know, the idea is we are to refine and get better and improve and expand and to grow, but not to stop breathing. Not to stop singing like the birds and hunting like the lions. Go hunt for your dreams. Hunt for love. Hunt for a better version of you. If you're hungry, take that hunger. Tap into that hunger. What are you hungry for? You know, are you hungry for a more meaningful life? Get out on that beach. If you're in cold weather, go outside. Feel the coldness on your face. Whew. Get wild. It's Rabbi Jenny. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Mwah. Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events.
561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
This is an important message for those suffering with a drug or alcohol addiction. The treatment of drug or alcohol addiction in the past has been limited by a belief that addiction only affects the mind and the body. At Epiphany Resources, a treatment model has been uncovered that includes both the mind, body, and the spirit. At Epiphany Resources, the client receives a comprehensive and revolutionary integrated treatment model, which allows the client to rewrite one's story of shame created by addiction and rewrite as one of self-esteem and power. By treating one's mind, body, and spirit, the chance of recovering from drug or alcohol addiction is increased at levels not believed before. If you or someone you love is struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction and is looking for a new effective approach, call Epiphany Resources at 1-800-232-0657. Recover now.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net. You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, welcome back. It's Rabbi Jenny. It is Wednesday, and we are talking about the call of the wild. We're inspired by Vayikra, and I want to make a point about this Vayikra. In the beginning of this portion, it really, often in the beginning of a Torah portion, it'll just say, and God spoke to Moses, blah, 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 and God spoke to Moses, blah, 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 blah. But this time he's like, and he called. He called and said, no. What you've done is not going to be enough. Now you got to go get an unblemished animal and put it on the fire. And I think that this is what we need to understand, is that we have to, it's not enough to just notice it. It's not enough to shame ourselves and try to push ourselves in a box. You have to get wild. You got to go to the fire. You got to dance. You got to let it out. That animal in you has got to come out. It is time for a wild animal herself. We're going to introduce our bad Mama Gemma. Elisa Erman. Yes. Is that it? Oh my God! I have the most sensitive little lamb in the studio. This is Elisa Erman. She is our health expert. She's a regular. Coming up, she's going to have her own little piece of the Rabbi Jenny Show regularly to give you guys some health tips from the angels. She's a friend, and she's a kitty cat. Give us a howl. Come on, give us some sort of animal. Oh, all right. Oh, my Lord. Okay, what wild part of you, Elisa, do you have the hardest time coming to terms with? Like, for me, it's when I get jealous. I go, I'm like, where'd that come from? But what's the part of you that's wild, that's, like, untamed? Like, when do you're like, why did you do that?
Well, I would say I think one of the things that's most challenging for me with that would be if somebody were to hurt somebody that I know, or be mean to somebody that I know or care about, whether it's a friend or a colleague or somebody. It's like I get protective.
Yes.
I immediately go into kind of that fight or flight, like what's going on. And yeah.
That's interesting.
Nails come out.
Yeah, and you really can see, like, if like different things. We get protective, we get hungry. That's a wild thing. We need companionship. Yeah. Then there's the opposite, like wild, like most big cats or a lot of animals spend most of their life alone.
Yes.
Unless they're mating.
Right.
in mating season.
Where we can be wild as well.
Right. Where do you think not letting your wild side out affects your health?
Oh my goodness, that's a big one. Yeah, I think that it can totally affect your health because if you're not letting out your wild side, it can build up because we all have it. Just like you said, we all have that. So if we have this energy, it could create kind of like an energy block. It's like stuck within us. It can manifest as stress. It can manifest as frustration. And sometimes we actually create situations, or we may create situations where we kind of have to let it out. So we may end up screaming or yelling or crying, when really if we just took the time to just maybe sing a song or be creative or just be silly, just be our free-spirited self and our wild-natured self, then that energy wouldn't build up. It's something that I think we need to, just like the importance of exercise.
Yeah.
This is just as important.
I think
wild
it's
in a healthy way.
And I think that even exercise could be a little bit wilder. I mean, you're just like, it's boring. You know, like there could be like, go to a dance class, go to a drumming circle, get your body moving, go in the ocean, get into the uncivilized, go hiking.
Absolutely.
There's nothing like a good hike. You're out there in the woods just with nature, with yourself. Yeah. What kind of messages do you think we receive as women about our wild side, you think?
I think that we need to remember that it's okay to let it out, and it is a natural part, and that when we let it out, that's when we bond. I'll share something. One of my good friends from Michigan just came into town a couple weeks ago. Her name is Dana. I'm sure it's okay. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
I'm talking on here. And she's someone that I just, of all the friends I have, her and I can just let my wild side. I mean, and I haven't seen her in it's been a while since I've really been able to let the wild side out with her and spend that time because she lives in Michigan. I'm here in Florida. So when she was in town, I said, listen, you don't have a choice, girl. We are going to put this music on. We are going to sing and just go. And I put on one of the songs we love from the play Rent.
Oh, God.
And we have, what is it? All of a sudden, I forgot the name of the song.
All the numbers. 135,600.
Oh, it's Take Me or Leave Me. Right. And actually, the song it's a few after that. And it's called Take Me or Leave Me. And it's all about accepting ourselves as we are. So here we are. We each have our parts. We're just being wild. And you know what? How good did it feel after? Oh, my gosh. Both of us felt amazing. I mean, it was like better than anything I could even imagine. I mean, really, it was so great in terms of letting that out. It was just good endorphins and all that.
Yeah, and I think that being, recognizing that you might be busy or you might be at a desk, but there are ways to do this, like with your journal, with talking to friends, go outside for a few minutes on your break. What about, you recently had a brace on your leg.
I still do.
Right. Well, it's not like it, but
right, you're moving.
I'm
moving better.
Do you think that being I wonder, some of our listeners who might have limitations or, they might think that, that they have to hold back. Like we get injured or we get hurt and we, that's very animalistic to go into the cave and lick your wounds, but that can last too long, I think.
Yes. It's finding the balance.
Yes.
I think we all need to have that balance. And it's interesting because since that tendon of my ankle tore, I was limited in how many fun things that I could do that I normally like to do.
Right.
So when she came into town, I had all this energy built up. And I was like, we are singing. We are going to just go and be our wild selves. So I think it's important to find the balance. And we all know that. Now, if she came a few weeks prior when I was in a lot of pain, would I still have been able to let out as much? I think because she brings it out in me, it's possible. But, we do need to honor our natural body's rhythms and what our body needs, but also find the balance and not suppress ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And some of it's intuition, too, because I'll find that, I'll get a feeling about something or somebody, and somebody will have a different feeling, but it would be a normal response to sort of like, well, maybe my feeling's not right. But call of the wild or getting in touch with your wild side is accepting, no, your feeling was right for you. You are the animal in your natural habitat, and that, it's like getting into the idea that you're the lioness or you're the lion and you're in your habitat and you know what's going to work for you and what's not. Yeah. So getting into that sacred space of embracing like a higher animal self and saying, no, I know what's good for me. I know how to protect my young and my creations. I don't know if you find this in business because you network a lot. So where do you think some of this comes in networking?
Oh my goodness. Yes, you definitely have that intuition. I mean, I have the knowing, who do I want to be talking to? Who are some people that I'm drawn to more than others? Um, you can just, I think we can all sense from one another whose hearts are more open, who kind of puts out that energy more, that more peaceful energy. And I think most of us, or at least a lot of us, are more drawn to that,
Yeah.
that are looking for that. But yeah, I think it's always important for us to listen to that intuition, and just to speak to what you said, that even if one person has a different intuitive response than another, that's just where they're both at that point. So for whatever reason, that's what they're receiving, that's the message they're getting, and that's just their process. It doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong. It just means, hey, for some reason, this person may be getting a different feeling than you right now, and maybe it's to protect them because they're not ready to experience X, Y, and Z. I mean, we don't know.
You don't
these
see, you
things.
you can't see the big
Exactly.
picture. You can sometimes
100%.
sense it. And I was thinking about like this idea of not taking it so seriously either. Like not taking ourselves so seriously. And like even like being able to look at other humans not so seriously. Oh, like, I think that when we expect too much from people.
Yes.
And they just act as people do.
Yeah.
Just like if we were in a zoo,
We kind of are, aren't
right,
we?
we really are.
Without the cages.
This is the cages of our bank accounts and our jaw, you know? I mean, but it's just like, and we can maybe laugh a little bit at, that's really, not that big of a deal, but I think that we take ourselves really seriously as humans. And some of that I think is religion. Some of that is perfectionism, the media, TV, I think tells us we're supposed to be a certain way. Yeah. And when we're lesser than that, it's like disappointing. But I think most things are birthed out of really messy things,
Absolutely,
literally.
Yeah.
Literally, what are a couple of things that you think the listeners can really do that you would suggest health-wise to, like, let some of that energy out? What would you recommend? And tell the listeners a little bit about you. And
okay.
We didn't even get to that. She's been on before.
I'm a cat, actually.
She's a kitty cat.
I'm a kitty cat.
Yeah.
But that's the first thing, is have fun, make time to laugh. But just to tell you a little bit about me, yes, I'm a registered nurse. I'm a certified diabetes educator, certified health and wellness coach. And I have a business here in South Florida, but I do work nationwide and really worldwide over the phone, over Skype. And I help people. I do health and wellness coaching. So I help people make lifestyle changes to better their health, improve their quality of life, live healthier and happier lives.
Yeah, definitely. And the sweetness doesn't always have to come from the sweets.
Exactly. Mother Nature's dessert, like the fruit that Mother Nature gives us, but also those good feelings, or those, sometimes people want that high from sugar things. Mm-hmm. That's where some of this wild stuff can come in place of that, right?
Oh my God, I had the most delicious blackberries. Like, I don't know if you've seen them in the grocery store lately.
I did, yes.
They're like
I was going to buy
giant.
some.
And then, usually blackberries are little, like, they have that big thing in it.
Yeah.
This is like a totally side note, but blackberries, I remember when I was a little girl in Maine and we would go through the woods, very wild, picking blueberries growing up in
that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
and
wild.
do that with your kids, do that with yourself. They have strawberry picking all the time in Florida. If there's, we used to go apple picking up north.
Yeah.
But find some activity or something. Also, gardening, I think, is very can be a very wild experience. The ocean is also a very, getting in nature, getting in touch with things. And I'm very curious about these things that we don't accept about ourselves, like where we don't give ourselves a break, and the idea of bringing it to the fire, getting it out, looking at it and seeing ourselves with a more forgiving nature.
Yes.
I think that that's the only way we can move forward. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's when we see these things we don't like about ourselves, I think the opportunity is, number one, acknowledge it. Number two, take it to the fire. Number three, make a decision to change.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about forgiveness. We're going to talk about, struggles with that in our next session with Elisa. And stay tuned. We're talking about making noise. I don't know. Be wild. On the Rabbi Jenny Show, the Call of the Wild. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is an important message for those suffering with a drug or alcohol addiction. The treatment of drug or alcohol addiction in the past has been limited by a belief that addiction only affects the mind and the body. At Epiphany Resources, a treatment model has been uncovered that includes both the mind, body, and the spirit. At Epiphany Resources, the client receives a comprehensive and revolutionary integrated treatment model, which allows the client to rewrite one's story of shame created by addiction and rewrite as one of self-esteem and power. By treating one's mind, body, and spirit, the chance of recovering from drug or alcohol addiction is increased at levels not believed before. If you or someone you love is struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction and is looking for a new effective approach, call Epiphany Resources at 1-800-232-0657. Recover now.
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Rabbi Jenny, we're here with Elisa Ehrman, our wonderful, wonderful health coach and expert and a whole bunch of other things. Angel health lady. I don't know. We'll think about it. But we were talking about the call of the wild, and we're talking about forgiveness and why we have trouble forgiving ourselves for our true animal nature. And I think that civilization is great, but it's not going to erase those core things where we are very much trying to survive in the world, I believe. And I think it's important for us to forgive ourselves, don't you?
Absolutely. It is very important for us to forgive ourselves. I think it's part of our journey here on the planet.
And what are different things? I think with me, it's like just telling someone some of the stuff I do is like instant forgiveness. Because, like you're only as sick as your secrets.
Right.
So I'll keep some of this stuff to myself and I'll be like, it just stays in there and gnaws at me and all of that stuff. But then just to tell somebody, oh my God, you're not going to believe what I did in the grocery store.
Yes.
You know? Somebody had like 11 items instead of 10 and I almost mauled them, you know? But you're tired, you're going to act like that. So just like that. And what we were talking, I was thinking about animals themselves. Because I have a dog. Elisa, you have 2 cats.
Yeah.
And animals don't really care when they're being an animal. Right? You don't like see like the snake like go back and pick up his skin like, oh, I don't want to make a mess. I'm so sorry I shed that skin and left it there for you to walk over. Like, but we do that.
Right.
I'm so sorry I grew and made a mess in your life, but let me just we really do.
Yeah.
And like, looking at dogs or cats, they don't they don't poop and then go back and go, let me clean that up or, howl or bark and be like, oh, I should be quieter.
Right.
I always think about like how much we can learn from them.
Yeah.
And the way that they, there's probably endless things we could talk about our wild side. But let's talk some more about, for the listeners, things in our own wild side that we don't like anger. Mm-hmm. As women, the messages we get about anger.
Yeah.
And most animals don't have to take it to a level of fighting if they can display their anger, right? A lot of animals have protective ways their skin or their hair goes on end,
Right.
or their spikes come up, or they show some sort of anger. Why do you think that we're so hard on ourselves when we get angry? As women, as men, why do you think we don't like that about ourselves?
Well, I think that we just have expectations that maybe we've learned from society and how we think we should feel, how we think we should behave, what we think we should be doing.
Yeah.
And when we don't fall into those expectations, sometimes we'll medicate, right?
Yep.
As a society, sometimes people will turn to drugs, turn to alcohol, food, other addictions, and instead of, I think culturally, it would benefit everyone if we could all learn to not just embrace our wild side, but to accept it in a healthy way.
Yeah, and
I
I
think
love-
that's really the key.
And screaming. Like,
Yeah.
they do this scream therapy and
Yes,
stuff. We used to do
yeah.
that. We used to take the girls with their bataki bat, and we used to have them beat the
Yeah.
sofa until they cried.
Yeah,
Just because they had so much stored up anger.
exactly.
And you're right. You use drugs. You'll seek out an unhealthy partner.
Yeah.
You'll eating food supposedly is very, very anger. There's like a core anger driven. And a lot of times it's not anger in anyone else. And I think that that's where we can get stopped up too. It's
Yeah.
anger at self.
And one of the things with food, to touch on that, is sometimes what happens is, let's say somebody's really angry with somebody else, okay? So then they don't want to feel the anger because it's uncomfortable. So then they'll eat to suppress it. Well, now they just ate, let's say, a whole box of cookies. So now they're not only mad at that person, but now they're mad at themselves. So now they eat more cookies. And this can go on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have seen this where this cycle, and it's a suppressed anger. And one of the things talking about animals that I've learned with what animals do when they get scared, when they get frustrated, when they get angry, what do? They shake it off, and then they keep going.
Right.
So, and they are so forgiving, are they not? I mean, your
Yeah.
dog, it's like if you tell, or I'll just speak for my cats, I may say no or give them a boundary, but they love me anyways. They love me no matter what. And I think that unconditional love, learning from animals, but also how to deal with some of these emotions, that we don't want to suppress them. We want to feel them and release them in healthy ways. Just like you're saying, the scream therapy, the baseball bat against the sofa, things like that. Again, the key is healthy.
And some of it is so beautiful too. Passion is beautiful. Like if you
Yeah.
feel strongly about something, don't put that away. Like find a way to express the beauty. That passion, that fire, and taking it to
Yeah.
the fire of creativity. Get out a paintbrush, paint how you feel. There's a reason why that passion was igniting inside of you.
Exactly, yes.
And I think that we forget, like the person who is medicated, or there's no fire there.
Right.
There's no light there.
Right.
And it's like, how can we accept, we don't like music artists who just sit on stage and just, you're always, you like Robert Plant, who's like moaning and
Right, being
fiery, like
Yes.
full of sort of animal drive, animal nature.
Yeah.
And I think like sexuality is a huge part of that too.
For sure.
Really accepting that part, like being sexy or sexual needs, and embracing that can be very a part of this idea of forgiveness and our humanity. I
Yeah.
mean, we are really animals, guys. Like we may be a little bit more refined, and we have the gift of language, and some thought, but sometimes I wonder if they're thinking too, some of us, they've done studies on the language of birds that they really are having a whole conversation,
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah. And I mean, that may have been a very ignorant statement because I'm sure it's much more detailed than that. But it's like sometimes you really can see that we really can be arrogant, and that lack of humility, hurts us,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because we're too easily humiliated, we don't really let ourselves make mistakes.
Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake you made that you learned from?
Oh my God.
This is a good one. I like to ask those juicy things.
I don't even know. That's like the door just opened to my past. I need to start searching through
I'm
things.
thinking of mine. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking of like, I don't know. Like,
honestly, I will say, did you want to say yours
no,
first?
you go first. You go first.
I really, truly think, there are probably so many, but what's coming to mind in this conversation right now is not allowing myself to feel certain emotions and thinking that, it's not okay. Like, for example, it's similar to what I said. It's like we think that we shouldn't feel, right? So then it can get suppressed and then it can come out in ways that we don't expect, right? Then we just start crying and we get angry about things that normally wouldn't get angry. We'd get angry about it. Builds up. So I just think I'm much better with it now, but in terms of, just not allowing myself to feel or thinking there was something wrong with me feeling sad after someone I love passed away, thinking it was going through those human emotions. I think just having human emotions and feeling the whole rainbow of them, like you said, that's been a life lesson for me to really accept, hey, guess what, Elisa? You have emotions and every single one is okay. Just use it in a way that's safe, which I always have. But, just allow yourself to be you.
Yeah. And I always tried to contain myself. Like if I wanted to say like the number one thing that I tried to do in my, late 20s and 30s was try to contain myself. And when I ended up going to seminary and then getting a divorce and I was sort of blown apart by my own passions, I really found out so much about myself. Like when our flaws are the things that make us, I don't know, understand others. I think that understanding my own depth and my own needs has really taught me how much people really need attention and love and empathy and
absolutely
a hug, how often can we go? They were talking about in that show, Big Little Lies, the marriage, the bed death or whatever. And they were talking about you forget to hug people. You forget to, the gift of human touch. And those are needs. You see, monkeys and you see animals and they're licking and they're touching and they're holding. And that's a huge need. And once you see your own depth, your own hunger, your own, all of that, passion, you can have compassion, for others. And I think that that's really important. How do people get in touch with you, Elisa?
So you can get in touch with me through www.universalcoachingservices.com.
Okay.
And then 561-634-0463. And on Facebook, Elisa Ehrman.
And what kind of services do you offer?
So I offer health and wellness coaching for individuals, for groups, for families, for couples, helping people make lifestyle changes to live healthier and happier lives in many different areas.
Are you giving any presentations? This week? Are you going to be at Whole Foods?
The second, not Whole Foods, but I'm going to be at Nutrition Smart. The second.
Where's that?
Nutrition Smart's in Palm Beach Gardens. It's oh my gosh.
Where is that?
It is one of the most amazing stores. I love it.
Nutrition Smart.
It's called Nutrition Smart. They have everything. All the produce and stuff is organic. They try to get local stuff. It's great prices. And it is on, it's in Palm Beach Gardens. And it is, let's see, the presentation's the second Tuesday of the month. So
are you doing it with your comedian partner? Or?
No, he's not going to be in that one.
Oh, and what's the topic going to be?
So the topic is...
I'm putting her on the spot.
You're putting me on the spot. I have to remember. I got to double check my notes. Can I let you know on that one?
Yes. But I want
something wellness related.
Yeah, check out my Facebook. Elisa will be on there talking about it. When you go to see her, she has a very unique way of presenting health tips, diet tips. Sometimes you can go see her and she's with a comedian and they make you laugh. Our body is also something. This is in the last few moments, we can talk about the shape of our body. We don't appreciate the hair on our body as women. We don't appreciate the muscles on our body, the size of our body, the fact that our body spreads apart to give birth to a baby. And then we try like maniacs. We go to the gym to try to make it go back instead of appreciating, the width and all of that stuff. That's a huge part of it, I think, too. Body image for men and women.
Very big. Yeah.
Aging.
Yes,
you don't see an old dog going, "Why am I old?"
Yeah.
Mommy, can you dye my hair? Can you imagine?
That'd be so funny.
It's weird though, it's definitely a human thing. We're exceptions. We want to be exceptions to the laws of nature when we're actually a part of it. Remember, we're part of everything. Well, thank you, Elisa. It's been so great having on the show. Stay tuned. We have the Joy Jar Challenge and the Jenny Jam. Elisa will hang out with us, and we'll be right back. It's Rabbi Jenny. Stay tuned. Ow!
The after-school hours between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. are when millions of children go home alone or are without adult supervision. Statistics have shown that during this time, gang involvement, teenage pregnancy, and drug use begins. For the past 15 years, For the Children, Inc., a place where children come first, has been a pioneer in providing quality after-school programming for underprivileged youth aged 5 to 18 in Palm Beach County. Our children are our future. To ensure their success, they must have equal access to quality educational, personal growth, and leadership tools. For the Children, Inc. provides them all. Donate now to For the Children, Inc. at www.forthechildrenfirst.org.
This public service announcement for the Children, Inc. was brought to you by the law offices of Manjula Caladini, Esquire, concentrating in immigration law. www.immigrationassociates.net.
Hi, it's Rabbi Jenny from The Rabbi Jenny Show. Are you planning a wedding, baby naming, or bar bat mitzvah? Have you recently adopted a pet, bought a new home, or opened a new business? Do you have an important anniversary coming up and would like to renew your vows? Have you recently lost a loved one and need some compassion and care through this process? These are some of the many life events that touch our lives. It is at these moments that we need a special person for guidance and compassion and care to officiate and guide us through those moments. Call me, Rabbi Jenny, at 561-346-8207 to guide you and officiate these life events. 561-346-8207. Rabbi Jenny, for personal compassion and care and loving guidance for the important events of your life.
This is an important message for those suffering with a drug or alcohol addiction. The treatment of drug or alcohol addiction in the past has been limited by a belief that addiction only affects the mind and the body. At Epiphany Resources, a treatment model has been uncovered that includes both the mind, body, and the spirit. At Epiphany Resources, the client receives a comprehensive and revolutionary integrated treatment model, which allows the client to rewrite one's story of shame created by addiction and rewrite as one of self-esteem and power. By treating one's mind, body, and spirit, the chance of recovering from drug or alcohol addiction is increased at levels not believed before. If you or someone you love is struggling with a drug or alcohol addiction and is looking for a new effective approach, call Epiphany Resources at 1-800-232-0657. Recover now.
You have been listening to Rabbi Jenny, who asks, are you ready to bring more light and love and joy into your life? A spiritually uplifting show that will change your world. Call in at 888-565-1470 or email at rabbijenny.com and share your thoughts with Rabbi Jenny. Now, back to our show.
Hey, it's Rabbi Jenny. Welcome back. And it is time for the Joy Jar Challenge. I think.
Joy, 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 joy. It's Adeline Gobergstein, and it's time
hope
for
he's not on the
Rabbi
phone.
Jenny Ridiculous Joy Jar Challenge.
Hi, this is Rabbi Jenny who's on the phone.
Hey, Rabbi, this is Courtney Ortiz. How are you?
Hey, Courtney Ortiz. How are you doing?
You know what? I just got home. It's a beautiful day. Life is good. I'm doing great.
Oh, I'm so glad. Do you have 10 things that make you ridiculously joyful?
Oh, my God, I do. All right, number one, my health. How lucky am I to be healthy? All right, number two, my family. Full of children and a great husband and a roof over my head. So number three, then I'm going to break that down to my husband, number three. And then we'll put my kids at number four. And this weather, the weather makes me super happy. So on a beautiful day like today, and so wait, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's number 6. I'm a small business owner, and as a woman, being an entrepreneur and being successful at it, that gives me a lot of happiness and self-satisfaction. Politics, because I'm a politics junkie. I'm super obsessed. So serving my community, I'm really involved in my community and in charity work, so knowing and being able to give back totally makes my day. Being awarded really great opportunities is amazing. And last is, through all of this stuff, is being able to take a day off with my family, really. I'm the luckiest girl in the world right here.
Oh, well, Courtney, thank you. What would you like to promote today on the Rabbi Jenny Show?
Well, Rabbi, I'm a portrait photographer, and I own a studio in downtown Hollywood, Courtney Studios. And, talking about all these things that make me happy, what I get to do in my job every day is capture true happiness and love in families. So that's what I do. I'd love
Do you
to
have a
come see you at
website?
the studio. I sure do. CourtneyStudios.com.
Is it COURTNEY?
You got it. STUDIOS.
All right, CourtneyStudios.com.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You got it. We'll promote it one more time on the show. Thank you so much for calling, sweetie, and have a blessed, joyful evening.
You're welcome. You too. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.
Well. It's been a really interesting Call of the Wild show. I just got like a stalker call on my cell phone telling me I was going to hell for the show. Well, I hope so, because I don't even believe in that anyways, right, Elisa? We're going to have her on for the jam, I guess. Well, that was a little weird. It was a little weird, but, that's what happens when you shine the light. Sometimes it really upsets people. And I don't know. That was really, woo! But Courtney, you lightened us back up here in the studio, so thank you for that at CourtneyStudios.com. It is time for the Jenny Jam. Jenny Jam. You ready for this one, Elisa?
Jenny Jam.
Jam. Here we go. Wolf ain't nothing on me. Bear ain't nothing on me. Ram ain't got nothing on me, 'cause I'm an animal. Wolf ain't got nothing on me. Bear ain't got nothing on me. Ram ain't got nothing on me, 'cause I'm an animal. Passion's lit, heat, desire. Got to take it to the fire. Wild and vicious and enraged. Don't dare you put me in a cage, 'cause when you gonna take someone I need, fangs gonna come out and you're gonna bleed. Wolf ain't got nothing on me. Bear ain't got nothing on me. Ram ain't got nothing on me, 'cause I'm an animal. Wolf ain't got nothing on me. Bear ain't got nothing on me. Ram ain't got nothing on me, 'cause I'm an animal. But when I slow down and remember my heart beats with the sun, the moon and the stars, reach to the fire to take all that I yearn and take it to divine so it can burn. I said, wolf ain't got nothing on me. Bear ain't got nothing on me. Ram ain't got nothing on me, 'cause I'm an animal. Howl for us, Lisa. Ow! This has been like I gotta tell you, this is like the favorite topic. I feel like I want to rename the show The Call of the Wild. We've had like a huge breakthrough in scripture this week for me, like really seeing the genius, in recognizing that it had to be an unblemished animal, because that is how core these desires are in us. And so to offer that up, to have the priests in the temple offer that up for the whole tribe, take our animal nature, take it from us, because we're recognizing it. We have a conscience now. We know that the killing and the raping and the jealousy and the envy and all of that, it's going to get in our way. So offer it up to the fire so it can be transformed into something beautiful. That's it. Like the fires of creation transform these things in our lives. And what I've seen, and what my message is to you today on the Rabbi Jenny Show, and Elisa can support me in this, is that take those things that you keep in the dark. Take those things about you, those moments where somebody just got you so upset, and write about it, sing about it, feel about it, because there's somebody in there. There's something in you that was touched. There's something in you that was moved in a way that God got you real deep. And that fire, that fury, that depth of your soul and spirit, that's what we need here right now, right? We need to direct it. I think that the wildness, the unruliness, it's not about like controlling it, but it is about harnessing it maybe.
Yeah.
Like harnessing it and directing it into the right place. Wouldn't you think so?
100%.
You know? I mean, it's an amazing thing to get in touch with our wild side and to accept ourselves without forgiveness. I think it's the gateway to health, the gateway to youth, because I think that when you get old gracefully, you realize you're not really old. Like, you see these women in their 40s, like getting all these things and getting all these things done. And it's like, you're only in your 40s, man. You got like another 50 years to live. What are you doing? because they've forgotten. There's it's like we forget. We get out of this idea of the natural progression of things, And I think like eating healthy and all of that comes with it, and the sweetness of everything. What do you want our listeners to know? You're on with us at the end. We're talking about Call of the Wild, accepting our wild side. How do you know? What do you want to leave them with, Elisa?
I want to leave them with, I would say, exactly what you said about harnessing that energy and using it for the good of the planet.
Yeah.
And find something for the good of yourself, which of course supports the planet. So whatever that is, that energy, take what you need to the fire, but also allow that fun side of you, that wild side, that adventurous side to come out and have fun. And I think it's really important to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, and howl. If you're in your car, howl.
Yes,
growl.
howl with us.
Ow! Growl. Make yourself, get a little animalistic tonight,
Yes.
Make like a monkey, be silly. Stop taking yourself so seriously. Life is short and long at the same time. Okay, this is it. You have people around you that are waiting to be hugged and loved and enjoyed. Don't hold back. Don't shame yourself into the corner, because that stuff goes in the dark and that's when it explodes. When we tuck it away, like you were talking about with health and wellness, and we eat it away and we push it and it's going to come out. It'll come out in an illness, or it'll come out at somebody.
Right.
You'll say something or do something at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I've ever those moments where you're in traffic and you get extra mad and you're like, where did that come from? Well, it came
Right.
from somewhere. Could be from 7 days ago.
Right.
Right?
And one other thing, can I add real quick
Sure.
to what you're saying, is that if let's say you're at work or you're in a situation where you're feeling the energy come up and you're feeling angry and you don't really have any way to release it in a healthy way in that moment because it's not the appropriate time, maybe you have to work on a project or something. So a tip that really helps is to say to that anger, I hear you, and I will talk to you later tonight. Give it a time. Say, hey, I'm going to talk to you at 8 p.m. tonight. I'll give you some time. I'm going to listen, see what's going on. And when you do that, that voice, that part of you actually quiets down because it knows that you're going to attend to it. It knows that you heard
I love
it.
that.
Because otherwise it will keep trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
The intention isn't to suppress it like you said. Like I said, it's not. That's the intention is hear it because it's talking to you for a reason.
Yeah.
So talk to it, have a conversation. What are you trying to tell me? What's going on? But do it when you're alone, when it's the right setting.
And listen to yourself. We do need wilder people, my friends. We do need people willing to take risks. We do need people who are hungry for a better world and a better life. We do need people who are aching and really passionate and furious, essentially, about things that are going on. That's motivation. That's inspiration.
Yes.
That is a necessary thing today. So don't put it down. Write it in your journal. Do something with that energy. Get out into nature. Go for a hike. Go get yourself some flowers. Go get pet your dog. Spend some time. And realize how silly some of it is when you're hard on yourself. I think the last thing I want to leave the listeners with is this idea of, just be easy on you. Be nicer. Be kinder to yourself. You're an amazing, amazing piece of the divine. God only made one of you. He only made one. And we need you to be exactly who you are in all of your fire and specialness. So please do. This is Rabbi Jenny. Thank you, Elisa. Everybody check out Courtney Studios Photography. Make sure you go to forthechildren.org and make a donation to that organization. Thank you, Epiphany Resources. If you have someone struggling with substance abuse, please give us a call or go to etcfl.com. And this is Rabbi Jenny with Elisa. Have an awesome, awesome rest of the week. Mwah.
Ow.
Ow.
You have been listening and lighting up your life with Rabbi Jenny. Join us next week for another session of love, light, and joy as Rabbi Jenny takes life to the next level. Are you ready? Rabbi Jenny says the time is now.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program